I think we should break up. Her words sliced through the quiet like a knife. I blinked at her, unsure if I'd heard right. What? Rachel didn't flinch. She just sipped her coffee, eyes avoiding mine. You heard me, Ethan. Us. It's not working anymore. I leaned forward, my hands trembling. You said you loved me 2 nights ago. I did. I thought I did. But you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. I laughed, but it sounded fake, even to me. Stuck? Because I got laid off last month? Rachel, that's not it. She set her cup down. You've always played it safe. You've always thought small. My heart pounded. So what? You want someone rich? Flashy? That Carson guy you were talking to last week? Her eyes locked on mine? His name is Marcus. And yes, I'm seeing him now. My stomach turned. You're serious? She nodded. He believes. In me, he's not dragging me down. I never dragged you down, I whispered. I gave you everything. Rachel leaned back. Everything. You live in a 1-bedroom. You take buses to interviews. You think flowers and loyalty are enough. But you're throwing 3 years away. She stood. No, I'm saving myself from wasting more time. You lied to me, I said, trying to keep my voice from breaking. All this time, it didn't feel like cheating, she said. I already checked out. You just didn't see it. I stood too. Because I trusted you. Because I thought we were building something real. Her voice turned cold. Maybe that was your first mistake. I stood there frozen as she walked. Out of my life like I never mattered. I barely remember walking home. I must have looked like a ghost. My key didn't work. I tried again. Nothing. Ethan. My landlord's voice came from behind the door. We talked about this. 2 months behind. I told you I'd pay you Friday. I got an interview. It's Monday. I can't keep waiting. I changed the locks. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break the door down. But I just nodded. Can I at least grab my stuff? I boxed it all. It's in the alley. Cold. Mechanical. Just like Rachel. I called Leo. He picked up on the second ring. Yo, what's up? I need a place. Just for tonight. You can crash here, man. What happened? She left me. I mumbled. I got kicked out. Same night. Didn't say anything for a second. Then, damn, come over. Doors open. Leo's place smelled like old pizza and Febreze. He tossed me a blanket. She really just dipped like that, he asked. Yeah? She with that dude already? Marcus Carson? Leo whistled. The guy. With the Porsche. Damn rich. Loud and fake. Her dad always wanted her with someone like him, I said. Someone who could buy her a life. Leo sat down. And you were too good for her. I stared at the ceiling. Funny. That's not what her dad said when I saw him last month. Leo raised a brow. What did he say? He looked me in the eye and said, Ethan, men like you stay in the middle. You'll never make it to our level, geez. And her mom called me quaint, like I was a charity project. Ethan, Leo said, you were real. She didn't want real. She wanted luxury. I closed my eyes. She used. To say I made her feel safe, now she says I'm holding her back. Leo leaned forward. You're better off. Doesn't feel like it. Silence hung in the room. Then my phone buzzed. Blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. Another. Buzz. A message. From unknown number. Sorry you had to find out this way. Hope we can still be friends. R.I. laughed, actually laughed. Felt sharp and wrong. Let me guess. Leo said. She wants to stay friends. I nodded, showing him the message. Leo grabbed the phone and tossed it on the couch. Delete that crap. She doesn't deserve space in your head. I rubbed my face. 3 years, man. Gone in 1 day, then take 3 years to get her back. Not with words. With results. I looked at him. What if I don't have that in me? Leo didn't smile, then borrow some of mine. Got you, I didn't reply. I just stared at the ceiling again, letting the weight of the night crush me. Rachel was gone. My job was gone. My apartment was gone. But I was still breathing. And maybe that was enough for now. I'm fine, I muttered, folding the blanket Leo tossed me.
You're not.
He said, you didn't sleep. You just laid there like a corpse, didn't feel like moving. Leo stood in the kitchen, pouring cheap cereal into a cracked bowl. You gotta eat something. I'm not hungry. You said that yesterday. I meant it yesterday too. He walked over, handed me the bowl. You're not dying on my couch, man. That's not how this ends. I forced a spoonful into my mouth. It tasted like cardboard and pity. You still haven't told your mom, Leo said. No point. She'll just worry and ask to send money she doesn't have. You need a job. I need a reason. He sat down across from me, frowning. You're not the first guy to get dumped, Ethan. I didn't. Just get dumped, I snapped. She wrecked me. She waited until I was down, then kicked me deeper.
Leo nodded slowly. Yeah, that sucks, so what?
You gonna let her win? She already did. He stared at me, chewing slowly. You always were the good guy. Maybe too good. What's that supposed to mean? You forgave her for everything. Her lies, her cold shoulder. You made excuses for her, because I loved her. She didn't love you back. Not the real you. Silence sat between us like another person. Leo spoke again. You know, where she is now? I didn't answer. Dinner with Carson. Wearing something expensive. Laughing like she never knew you. I gritted my teeth. Why are you saying this? Because you need to hear it. She moved on. She replaced you, and you're here, stuck. I stood, fists clenched. So what? I should just get up, smile, and go bag groceries? He didn't. Blink? No. You should get mad. You should fight back. Don't have the fight in me. Leo sighed. Then go walk. Think. Scream. Just don't stay here wasting away. I walked without knowing where I was going. City was loud, careless, gray, just like her. People passed by, faces lit by phones, not looking at me. I was invisible. Maybe that was fair. I sat on a bench near 5th Street, watching the world move while I stayed still. A boy sat a few feet away, maybe 9. Torn hoodie, dirty shoes. He unwrapped a sandwich and looked at it like it was gold. Then a dog limped over Skinny, shaking. The boy didn't even hesitate. He ripped the sandwich in half and dropped the bigger piece on the ground. Eat, buddy, he whispered. The dog wagged its tail and devoured it. The boy smiled like he'd won something. Couldn't look away. He had nothing, and still gave something. I stared at my hands. I had 2 of them, a brain, a heart. Ah! I was wasting all of it. I stood up. Hey, I said, walking over. The boy looked at me cautious. I reached into my pocket. 2 crumpled dollars. Here, get another sandwich? He hesitated, then nodded. Thanks, mister. The dog barked once, as if agreeing. I smiled for the first time in days, just barely. When I got back to Leo's, he looked up from the couch. You look like you saw God, he said. Just a kid with a sandwich? That code for something? No, I said, grabbing a notebook from the shelf. It's just, I think I've been selfish. Leo raised a brow. You? Selfish? Yeah, wallowing, giving up. Acting like my pain's the only pain? He nodded slowly. So what now? I flipped to a blank page. I think I need a plan? A plan? Yeah, to fix this. To fix me. Leo grinned. Now that's the Ethan I know. I'm still broken, I said. He leaned back, could stay broken long enough to remember what it felt like. I looked at him. You think I can do this? I know you can. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Leo opened it. A man in a long coat stepped inside, looking around. Sorry to intrude, he said, eyes sharp. You've dropped this. Outside, he handed me a worn wallet mine. I hadn't even noticed it was gone. Thank you, I said. He studied me for a second. You're Ethan Cole, right? I blinked. Yeah, the man gave a small smile. Interesting. Good luck, Mr. Cole. He left without another word. Leo turned to me. Who the hell was that? I looked down at the wallet, then out the window. I don't know, I whispered, but I think he just opened a door. Leo crossed his arms, and then walked through it. Hey, leave him alone. I didn't think. I just moved. The guy had the old man pinned against the alley wall, yanking at his coat. I grabbed a trash can lid and swung hard. The mugger stumbled. Back off. Or what? I stepped forward. You'll run away like the coward you are. He looked between me and the old man, cursed, and bolted. I turned. You okay, sir? He nodded, breathing hard. I'm fine. Thank you. You're bleeding. Just a scratch. I've had worse. I grabbed a napkin from my pocket and handed it to him. Here. You should sit. He did slowly. He didn't hesitate. He didn't have time to. He looked at me, eyes sharp despite the wrinkles. What's your name? Ethan Cole? Mr. Cole, he said. You may have just changed your life. I laughed. Right, because I tackled a guy in a hoodie. I'm serious. Okay, I said, humoring him. Who are you then, Batman? He smiled. Arthur Nash. I blinked. As in, Nash Holdings? The very one? You're kidding? I don't joke about being saved. I ran a hand through my hair. Thought you were just sorry. I didn't recognize it's fine. Most people don't when I'm not wearing a suit. I sat beside him. What were you doing here, old habit? I walk every morning. Clears my head. You should stop, probably. You study me again. You don't have a job, do you? No. Home. Couch. Education. Bachelor's. In business? Doesn't feel like it matters. Why not? Because it's been a year of dead ends. Interviews, rejections, and one very public betrayal. Ah, he said quietly. A woman. I nodded. He pulled out a card. Come see me tomorrow. 9 a.m. I stared at it. Why? Because I've got instincts. And you've just proved you're someone worth investing in. I don't have anything to offer. Courage, loyalty, impulse. That's more than most Ivy grads. I took the card. Are you sure? Do I seem unsure? I looked at him. What's the catch? No catch. Just show up. The next morning, I stood in the lobby of Nash Holdings. Name, the receptionist asked. Ethan Cole. She smiled. Mr. Nash is expecting you. When I entered his office, he was already mid-call. A girl about my age stood near the window. You're the one who saved Dad? She asked. I guess I'm Emily. Nice to meet you. She smiled. You nervous? Terrified. Good. That means you care. Mr. Nash hung up. Ethan, sit. Did. He tossed a folder my way. This is a 3-month project. Learn my top analysts. Learn fast. Ask questions. Just like that. Just like that. Emily grinned. Welcome to the fire. I opened the folder. Charts, numbers, strategy terms. I hadn't seen since college. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Neither are most people when they start, Mr. Nash said. That's how you grow. What do you expect from me? Hunger, honesty, and no excuses. I nodded. Okay, I'm in. Good. He stood. Let's see what you're made of, Mr. Cole. I walked out of that office feeling taller. Leo called that night. So I got a shot. No way. Yeah. Ethan Cole's about to go corporate. Something like that. Leo laughed. Told you. Takes his one good break. No, I said, looking at the card still in my hand. It takes one good person who sees you when no one else does. Up already? Emily asked, walking into the office with coffee. I glanced at the time. 5:42 a.m. Didn't sleep. Again. Had numbers in my head. You'll burn out or break through. She placed the coffee in front of me. You sound like my dad. I smirked. He's not wrong. She raised an eyebrow. He said you'd push harder than most. I didn't think he meant this hard. I can't afford to be average. You're not. I looked at the stack of reports. Not yet. Mr. Nash paced behind me later that morning. Tell me. What you see? I pointed at the chart. The market's responding to emotional patterns, not logic. Fear's driving the sell-off. Nodded. Good. Now how do you use that? By what others are afraid of if it's still valuable. Exactly. I scribbled notes. So people are predictable. Most you just have to know what they want. Money, power, or safety. Praise, control. Depends on the person. I looked at him. And if I figure that out, smiled, Then you'll own the room without speaking. Weeks passed. I stopped noticing time. Mornings blurred into nights. Meals were coffee and protein bars. I lived in data, pressure, silence. You never smile, Emily said one day. Don't. Need to? You okay? I'm becoming who I need to be. That doesn't sound healthy. I'm not here to be healthy. I'm here to win. One afternoon, I was reviewing pitch decks when a voice interrupted me. You're Ethan, right? I looked up. A woman stood by the glass wall, arms crossed. I am. You are. Maya. I handle mergers. She walked in, scanning the notes. On my screen, you're new. 3 months. You look like you've been here 3 years. I shrugged. Feels like it. She leaned on the desk. What's your angle? Growth. Control. Precision. That's not an angle. It's a war plan. Then I'm at war. With who? My past. She paused. Fair enough. That night, I sat alone in the boardroom. Everyone else had gone home. I stared. At my reflection in the dark window, you're still angry. I whispered to myself. I saw her face. Rachel, the way she looked at me that night. You'll never make it anywhere, her voice echoed. I clenched my fist. Watch me. Nash found me at my desk the next morning. You've done well. I'm not done, he smiled. You're sharper, colder, focused. Same thing. I looked at him. Do I scare you? No. But you should watch not to become what you hate. Too late for that? No, he said. But you're close. I stood. I'm not trying to be like them. I'm trying to beat them. He nodded slowly. Then keep your soul in the process. Leo called that night. How's Wall Street? Louder. Faster. You eating? Barely. You. Okay? Define okay, he laughed. You sound wired. I'm winning, Leo. Good. Just don't forget who you are. I stared at the ceiling. That's the point. Who I was didn't survive. Who I am has to. Leo didn't reply right away. Then I hope the new you is happy. I didn't answer because I didn't know yet. Fix your tie, Maya whispered. It's fine. It's crooked. I adjusted it and glanced around the ballroom. Chandeliers, laughter, glass clinking, power and designer suits. You still hate these things? She asked. Absolutely. Then, why come? Because Daniel Langston's desperate, and I want to see it. She sipped her champagne. You think he'll actually show? He has to. Langston and Rose stock dropped 15% last week. They need a savior. It's lucky for them, she said. You like playing God now. I scanned the room. He won't come alone. He didn't. 10 minutes later, Daniel Langston walked in wearing a forced smile and fake confidence. His wife Eleanor clutched his arm like a prop. And then there she was, Rachel. 3 years hadn't changed her much. Still tall, poised, in control of the room. But I noticed the stiffness. In her posture, the tension behind her eyes. Maya leaned toward me. Is that her? Yeah, she looks nervous. She should be. Rachel didn't see me at first. She smiled, greeted people, kissed cheeks. Then her eyes landed on me. She froze. Wait for it, I muttered. Her smile faded like a switch had been flipped. She leaned in and whispered something to Daniel. He turned. His face paled. Bingo, I said. You sure you want to play this like a game? Maya asked. They played me like one. I'm just better at it. They approached. Mr. Cole, Daniel said, extending a hand. It's been a long time. I didn't shake it, not long enough. Rachel's voice was softer than I remembered. Ethan, you look different. Time has a way of sharpening edges. Eleanor forced a smile. You've done well for yourself. Had no choice. Daniel cleared his throat. I heard you're leading the Brenton acquisition team. Not just leading it. I smiled. I own the controlling stake. Rachel blinked. You, what? You didn't check the papers? I asked. That's disappointing. Daniel chuckled nervously. We were hoping to speak to the board directly. You are, I said. Eleanor shifted. Surely you wouldn't let old wounds affect business. I wouldn't call betrayal a wound. More like surgery without anesthesia. Rachel stepped. Forward, can we talk privately? Maya cut in. We have nothing to say to you. Rachel looked at her. And you are. His future. You're his past. I grinned. Maya, give us a minute. She narrowed her eyes but stepped aside. Rachel's voice dropped. Ethan, I didn't expect you to become this, what? Successful? Powerful? Human? You were different back then. Was in love back then. She sighed. I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. It wasn't that simple. You dumped me for a man with money, and your family locked the door behind you. I was scared. I was starving. Rachel looked down.
Arcus.
And we're not together anymore. Not my business. We're struggling, Ethan. My family. We need this merger.
You mean you need me?
She nodded. Let me tell you what I needed, I said. I needed someone who believed in me when I had nothing. Someone who didn't leave when I fell. She looked at me. I was young. So was I, but I didn't run. Rachel's voice cracked. I never stopped thinking about you. Back. You stopped loving me. That was enough. She reached for my arm. Ethan, please. I moved away. You didn't just break my heart. You lit it on fire and danced in the ashes. Rachel stared, silent. Now you're asking me to pull you from the fire you started. I'm not that girl anymore. No, I said. You're just her sequel. She turned away, blinking fast. You're cruel now. I learned from the best. Maya returned. Done here. Yeah, we walked away. You okay? She asked. I thought I'd be angrier, and I'm just empty. Maya slipped her arm through mine. Then let me help you fill it with something better. I looked back once. Rachel stood alone. For the first time, she looked small, and I didn't feel sorry. Why do you look so calm? Maya asked, as the elevator climbed. Because they still think they're winning? She smirked. That's cold. No, that's focus. We stepped into the boardroom. Leather chairs, frosted glass. It smelled like control. Daniel Langston stood at the head of the table, briefing 2 men and 1 woman. He didn't look up. Gentlemen, he said Brenton's, acquisition secures our future. The lead investor, approved in principle. Once he signs, we're golden. I cleared my throat. Daniel turned, bored. You're late. His voice cut off. I watched the color drain from his face. You, he said. Me, I replied, pulling out a chair. Rachel was already seated. She straightened, eyes wide. Ethan. I didn't answer her. The woman beside Daniel leaned toward him. Mr. Langston, is there a problem? Daniel forced a laugh. No, just a surprise. I opened my folder and spoke clearly. As majority shareholder of Brenton, I now formally withdraw acquisition support for Langston and Rowe. Gasps. Papers rustled. Chairs shifted. You can't. Be serious, Daniel said. I can. I am. This deal was approved provisionally, subject to final review. That's today. Rachel leaned forward. Ethan, please. I held up a hand. This is business. You've had your say years ago. The man to Daniel's left spoke. Mr. Cole, if I may, you may not, I interrupted. My company won't be aligning with unethical leadership, falsified ledgers, and unstable stock. Daniel's voice rose. Watch your words. No need. I choose them carefully. He looked around the room. This is personal. Using power to settle an old score? I looked directly at him. Did you care about fairness when you humiliated me in your home? When you told Rachel I'd never be anything? Rachel looked down. The woman beside Daniel whispered, Is this true? Daniel didn't answer. I stood, meeting adjourned. Deal terminated. Rachel called out, Ethan, please. I didn't stop walking. Outside the room, Maya waited. That felt final. Not yet. But it's close. She handed me a coffee. So what now? I expose Michael. Then I freeze their accounts. That'll bury them. That's the idea. She paused. You really want them destroyed? They wanted me gone? I'm just finishing what they started? Maya looked me in the eye. Will destroying them fix what she broke inside you? I said nothing because I didn't know. Thanks for coming, Rachel said, voice trembling. I didn't come for you, I replied. I came for closure. We sat across from each other in a quiet corner booth. Her hands were clenched around her glass, knuckles white. Tried to reach you for weeks, she said. I know. You ignored every message. I read them. That was enough. Her eyes searched mine. Then why now? Because there's nothing left for you to take, she winced. I deserve that. I leaned back. Get to the point. She swallowed hard. I left you because my father threatened to cut me off. He told me I was a nobody. I was scared. Ethan, you were selfish. She looked down. He said if I stayed with you, I'd lose everything. College, inheritance, the company, and you believed him. I thought you were weak. I exhaled slowly. So did I. Rachel's voice cracked. But you weren't. You became everything he said you'd never be. Everything I said, that's what survival does. Her hands shook. I married Marcus to prove I'd moved on. But it was a lie. I didn't ask. I'm miserable, he cheats. Drinks, yells. Leave him. Can't. Then stay. But don't make it my problem. Tears welled up. My family's falling apart. Dad's company is collapsing. Eleanor cries every night. And you think I'm your rescue? I don't know what I think, she whispered. I just needed to see you. I stayed quiet. I remember the way you looked at me, she said. Like I was the only thing that made sense. You were. She leaned forward. Do you still hate me? No. Then what do you feel? I stared at her. Nothing. It's not true. I hesitated. Rage, sorrow, and a part of me that still wants to forgive you. Her eyes lit up. Then do it. Forgive me. I already did. She froze. But I'll never trust you again. The tears fell freely now. I wish I could go back. So do I, but I won't live there anymore. Ethan, please. Goodbye, Rachel. She didn't speak, just wept. Are you sure about this? Maya asked, eyes locked on mine. I didn't come this far to flinch now, she nodded. Michael's going to lose everything. He earned that. We were parked across from the courthouse. The folder in my lap felt heavier than it should have. You ready? She asked. I stepped out. More than I've ever been. Mr. Cole, Judge Morris said, flipping through the documents. You understand the weight of these allegations? Yes, Your Honor. Embezzlement. Fraud. Shell companies tied directly to Michael Langston. Every word backed by da-da-da-da. Records, he eyed me. This evidence will open a federal probe. I know. He studied my face. You're not doing this for revenge. I'm doing it because it's right. I touched my arm as we stepped out. You didn't flinch. He did, I said, pointing toward the Langston's car. Michael was pale. Daniel looked crushed. I almost feel bad, she muttered. Almost. Later, Daniel stormed into the Brenton lobby. You smug little bastard. Careful, I said. Security's watching. You destroyed us. No. Your greed did. You think you're better than me? No, just smarter, Michael. Burst in behind him. You think you'll get away with this? I handed him a subpoena. Already did. Daniel glared at Maya. This is your influence, isn't it? No, she said calmly. He did this on his own. You'll pay, Michael hissed. I paid already, I said. Years ago, Rachel appeared in the doorway. Her face was drawn, older than I remembered. Ethan. I looked past her. Goodbye, Rachel. 2 weeks later, headlines screamed. Langston and Rowe implodes. Federal charges filed, Maya read aloud from the paper. The whistleblower, Ethan Cole, uncovered a 10-year embezzlement trail. You're a hero now. I shook my head. I'm just clean. You still thinking about her? Sometimes want her back? No. We stood outside a small sandwich shop. Clean windows. Gold lettering. Cole's Deli. Maya raised an eyebrow. Seriously? 3 years ago, I sat here with nothing. Some kid gave a dog a sandwich. Reminded me I still had choices. So you bought it? Poetic, right? She smiled. What now? I live with peace. Across the street, Rachel stood watching. She didn't wave. Didn't call out. She just faded. You really bought the whole block? Maya asked, walking beside me. Just the East End. For now. She grinned. You're ridiculous. I prefer strategic. We stopped outside the old rec center. The bricks were worn, the paint chipped, but it stood. "This is it," I said. "This is where you're putting the program. Kids need more than speeches. They need places too. Belong." She stepped inside with me, her voice soft. "It smells like old gym socks and hope," I laughed. "Perfect mix, right?" "Why here? Because I was them once." That night, we sat on the rooftop of my building. The city stretched below us, calm and glowing. "You're quieter lately," Maya said, handing me tea. "I'm full. That's new." She leaned against me. "Not chasing anything anymore? Just peace and me," she teased. I smiled. "Always you." She didn't ask about Rachel. Not anymore. She didn't need to. The next morning, Leo dropped a letter on my desk. Some woman named Rachel. Handwritten. I stared at it. "You gonna open it?" he asked. "No. You sure?" "Very." I took the envelope, walked to the balcony, and struck a match. Flames curled the edges as the wind carried the ashes away. Leo raised a brow. "Damn, she once left me at my lowest. Now she has to live with knowing I never needed her to rise."